Hey folks, there's one money fear almost every retiree has, but almost no one says out loud. It's not about the stock market, it's not about inflation, and it's not about having enough. It's the fear of running out quietly without realizing it until it's too late. If that thought has ever crossed your mind, let me say this. You're not pessimistic, you're not ungrateful, and you're not bad with money, folks. You're just normal. Even retirees who planned carefully, they carry this fear with them silently. So today, let's talk about how this fear exists, and what actually helps to reduce it. Most people assume once you retire, your money anxiety should just disappear. But for many retirees, it actually gets louder. Why? Because for the first time in your life, money's no longer coming in from work. There's no reset button. There's no clear finish line. You don't know how long you're going to live. You don't know what the healthcare industry is going to do. You don't even know what the economy is going to do tomorrow, let alone next year. That uncertainty, it creates a low-level fear that sits in the background. And because retirees are expected to feel grateful, this fear often goes unspoken. Here's the part most people misunderstand. This fear isn't actually about how much money you have. It's about control. When you were working, you could earn more. You could cut back temporarily if you had to. You could make adjustments quickly. In retirement, adjustments feel heavier. So even people with solid plans think, what if something unexpected happens? What if I miscalculated? What if I'm just plain wrong? Folks, this is emotional. This is not mathematical. Quickly, if you're planning retirement or you're already living in it and you want honest conversations that replace stress with clarity, subscribe to my channel, please. That's exactly what we do here. We talk common sense, not fear. This fear usually doesn't show up as panic. It shows up quietly. Like, feeling guilty, spending money, delaying trips that you can easily afford, second-guessing everyday purchases, constantly checking your balances. On the surface, it looks like you're being careful. But underneath, it's fear. It's fear controlling your decisions. And that's when money stops serving your life. Here's the good news. Most retirees say this fear softens over time. Not because their money changes, but because their confidence changes. 3 things help the most. First, seeing your plan survive real life. Once you've lived through a year or two of withdrawals, your trust is going to build. Second, flexibility. It's not perfection. Knowing you can adjust if needed is powerful, folks. Third, reframing what enough really means. Enough isn't about never worrying. It's about being able to adapt. Many retirees think peace comes from watching every dollar. But peace actually comes from understanding your situation, uncertainty, and trusting yourself to respond when needed. The goal isn't to eliminate fear. It's to stop letting fear run your retirement. If you carry this quiet fear, remember, you're not weak, folks. You're not failing. You're not even alone. Did you know there's over 54 million senior citizens out there today? Folks, you're navigating uncertainty, and that deserves more compassion than pressure. If this resonated with you somehow, watch this next video. It's called You Don't Need a Perfect Plan to Retire with Comfort. It connects directly to what we talked about today. And if you want calm, honest conversations about retirement, without the hype, without the scare, make sure you're subscribed to my channel, please. Thanks for being here. You all take good care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you later.